Just the other day, M. Ray Perryman, he's a big economist, one of those crystal ball gazers, but very well-known Texas economist. He said that Texas is on track to be the first out of this recession. He said we were the last in, we'll be the first out. He pointed to the job growth that our state's experienced in 3 of the last 6 months. The fact that our unemployment rate has remained nearly 2 points below the national average. Well, I know you all know Tom Hawkins. Tom's been a great friend of veterans, and he's now the chairman of the Texas Workforce Commission. He recently put out a report showing that Texas has not only produced more private sector jobs than any other state over the last 10 years, we also have the lowest unemployment rate of the nation's 10 largest states. You know, you throw in the news from Forbes magazine that we also have the lowest debt level of the 10 largest states. And you can kind of see where our competitive nature is starting to have positive benefits for this state. However, we want to do the best we can, whatever it is. But certainly, when it comes to our veterans, Texas is one of those places that has a deep-seated appreciation for the men and women who have worn our uniform. Individuals like you all in this office who have risked your lives for freedom. That appreciation drives us to ensure that veterans returning from the field of battle get to live a life of dignity, with the opportunity to find their place in the economy, access to the services that they were promised the day that they signed up to serve the country. So that's one of the reasons that we're investing in some key initiatives, like expediting the backlog of claim applications with the VA. We were together a month or so ago. We know that the VA has to make decisions on a claim before you can receive those benefits. I mean, whether it's medical care from a VA hospital, or whether it's a disability comp, or it's a, the VA's got to make those decisions. We understand that. Just a month ago, we took a look at the numbers. We intuitively knew that there was a problem. We found out that there were 39,000 applications hung up in the VA system right here in Texas. 40% of them were pending for longer than 4 months. And the fact of the matter is, that is just unacceptable. So I directed the Texas Veterans Commission to create a claims processing assistance team. It's funded out of the governor's office. Get them to work with the VA to speed up these decisions so those dollars, those benefits could get to where they needed to be substantially faster to the veterans. The team's main focus is all about accelerating the claims process by identifying those applications for expedited review by the VA. And maybe it's obtaining missing information. Since they started, the team has requested information on 575 cases so that they can be completed and forwarded to the VA. They've also sent another 866 completed cases back to the VA, and I now expect the VA to take the necessary action and make the necessary decision to payment for these veterans. So, after 2 months, our team has helped more than 1,400 get the attention that they needed so that they get the services that they need, and they earn it. At the same time we were talking about that, we also were thinking of ways that we can help veterans who have scars that you don't see, those mental wounds that are suffered in the combat zone. We're making $5 million worth of state funding available for mental health authorities to those facilities across the state that are giving services on mental health to our veterans. $245,000 are what those grants can go up to. Help those programs, for instance, like the Vet-to-Vet program, that support groups, family education, trauma therapy. And I urge every one of the VFW posts that are represented here today to reach out to these different authorities, to these different associations, offer your assistance, offer your expertise as to how that money should be spent in your community, offer your support for those vet-to-vet programs. The fact of the matter is, vet-to-vet can't work without you. You are the key to that program. While that's going on, we're also supporting efforts to recruit and train practitioners to provide that additional mental health support for the veterans. We've invited folks to, well, it's a group called Give an Hour. We were in San Antonio, the folks were there for Give an Hour, to expand their operations to key areas of our state over the next year. This approach involves recruiting mental health practitioners to volunteer their time, counseling active duty personnel and their families, as well as veterans, as we help veterans get their lives back together. We're also helping them re-enter the workforce with something that we created last year called the Texas Veterans Leadership Program. It's kind of a pet project of mine. A fellow I mentioned a little bit earlier, who you know, Tom Hawking, he created a program like this for the non-vets, my era of brothers and sisters. You know, in 28 locations across our state, they're going to be hand-picked veterans who are helping Texas veterans adjust to civilian life. There's training, there's job search assistance, there's a program encouraging Texas businesses to hire our vets that are just now returning and leaving service. And we do this out of a sense of duty to our defenders. But I'll be real honest with you, I've got a self-serving motive as well. As the governor of a state that is doing better than almost any other state in the country economically, I want to see those veterans in our workforce. And the reason I want to see those veterans in the workforce is I know something. I know that they are mature. I know that in a lot of cases they have specific skills that they have learned in the military. I know that they understand how to take orders. I know they can be and will be a part of a major team if you hire them. This is good for our economy. They are an unbeatable workforce. And I happen to believe that adding more veterans to our workforce and capitalizing on the leadership that they've learned is a way to even make our economy strong. Listen, I want to come today and again thank you all for what you do. You know, as we live in the greatest country in the world, and as we have the great privilege to live in a great state in that country, we do so under the mantle of liberty and freedom. Freedom that you and men and women like you put your lives on the line so that people could live in peace, could have prosperity. People could go home and sleep in their beds and feel safe. Worship wherever you wanted to worship, the way you wanted to worship. Speak your mind without any fear of the government. I like seeing that back when those tea parties were going on this last year. I like seeing that. There are places I flew back in the 70s, you try that, you get your hand cut off. Not in America. It's part of what we fight for. It's part of what we stand up for. It's part of what we believe in. you served on a destroyer in the Pacific, or whether you were slogging your way through a rice paddy in the Mekong Delta, whether you were trampling through the sands of Kuwait, or for that matter, you waited bravely back home while you soldiered, standing up for our freedoms. I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. You have been a part of keeping the greatest country in the world free. May it never